And because of him and other dedicated men and women who have served this town faithfully, Summerville is indeed strong. It's positioned well. We are financially secure, and we are ready for the days ahead. We all stand on the shoulders of those who came before, and none of us can fill those shoes that he left. The good news is we don't have to, because together we can move forward in another direction that says Summerville is a dynamic place to live. I am so much thankful for the opportunity to serve you, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to be your public servant. But there is so much work to do, and there are serious challenges that lie ahead of us, and we all are aware of what they are. We must be financially prudent in every spending decision we make. We must be openly transparent.
Your time is up.
Together we can do these things.
Mr. Myler, your time is up.
Together we will.
Dr. Lomax, you won the luck of the draw, or lost it, however you want to look at it. You get question number 1. Are you ready? What is your position on impact fees for the funding of infrastructure improvements for the town of Summerville?
I'm opposed to them. I think it is negative for business. I think that impact fees at this point in time is very, very discouraging. I'm opposed to it.
Thank you. Mr. Myler, your response.
Impact fees in the right climate, the right town, the right time do have an advantage to help funding for infrastructure. A lot of people believe that as growth comes, growth needs to support the infrastructure. However, when you are in an absolute gripping economic environment, every type of fee or taxation should be eliminated or suspended so we can encourage economic growth, not suspend it. So we can say our doors are open for new opportunities, not try to tax it out of the ballpark. Many people would have loved to come to Summerville in the last couple of years or like to come, but if the impact fees are too great, it will repel them somewhere else.
Mr. Collins, your response?
First of all, we already have impact fees. The county has impact fees, and the town built the new fire station out in front of Weatherstone with impact fee money. They have already done some improvements to the parks and playgrounds with impact fees. What we don't have is what the county just put in, which is transportation impact fee. And I would be opposed to the town putting that on for this reason. Since the county has adopted it and we have not, when I'm out encouraging businesses that are contiguous to the town to come into the town, if they know they're going to have another impact fee if they stay where they are, or they can come into the town, it'll be a little cheaper. I'll bring them into the town and we'll get that revenue. So I think that that would be a way to grow the revenue within the town from people moving into town to avoid the transportation impact fee. And I do say the impact fees we have already taken care of a fire station and also the parks. And we have an impact fee also for schools, as you're aware, and that money I think is about $3 million and it's sitting in an account now while they wait to see what's going to happen with it. Thanks.
Thank you. Now remind the candidates, I didn't write them, I just asked them. Address your comments to the audience, please. All right, question number 2, Mr. Myler. How do you plan to regulate growth at a sustainable level once the economy improves?
Well, the good news is the economy will improve one day, and we'll all be here to enjoy it. Growth is a healthy expression of life. Every community that's healthy, that is vibrant, that attracts to industry will grow. The secret is to manage that growth in a balanced, sustained way. So it augments and it embellishes what you're trying to do, and it lives in concert with what the long-range plan is for that town. And that's the secret, is to have a consensus, long-term strategic plan on how you want to see Summerville grow for the future. So it's not a haphazard puzzle trying to put together, but as a game plan, there's a roadmap where we all can buy into, so we make decisions systematically and wisely and prudently on how our growth should look. And that growth needs to be handled by annexation. If we can build our perimeter out there, then we can control what comes in. And I can assure you tonight, if we don't build the perimeter out, North Charleston will be your next door neighbor, and so will the city of Goose Creek.
Mr. Collins?
Well, let me tell you, I can tell you this, you've all heard of Keith Summey in North Charleston. He's the mayor of North Charleston. He said, and I quote, the only difference between Summerville and Summeyville is an R and a Y. And he means that. He's headed this way. And so we have to grow, and we have to annex, and we have to protect what we have, and we have to do it vigorously. Annexation, I think we're going to grow by annexing properties into the city. We've got to do that. If I'm your mayor, one of the first properties I'm going to invite to come into the city is Mr. Myler's real estate company on Trolley Road. I think he ought to be in the town of Summerville if he wants to be the mayor and if he wants to go ask other people to come in. Thank
you. Dr. Lomax, your comments.
I've had about 20 years of experience in this area. First of all, you have to understand, I look at annexation as a necessary evil. I like a car, you gotta have it. We're impacted by what's around us. If we want to control it, we're gonna have to annex it. Now, the downside and the difficulty, this state has unbelievably difficult annexation laws. You have to have 75% of the people agree, and you have to have 75% of the assessed value of the property agree to come in. Difficult to do. How we're going to handle that, I'm not sure, but if we don't, we're going to be like, we're just going to be surrounded by North Charleston. It's going to happen. And North Charleston will put hundreds and hundreds of homes in. That's my concern, but it's difficult. And that's your problem.
Thank you. Mr. Myler, you get 1 minute to respond to Mr. Collins.
That's not enough time. You know, we all were laughing tongue-in-cheek about that, but let me tell you the sad truth. My office was at 206 West Richardson in Summerville. I moved in 1992 to where my location is, at 625 Old Trolley. In 19 years, not one member from town council or the town has ever asked me to annex into the town. I ask you, when's the last time you went down to the town council and said, I want to be annexed in? The problem we have is not an assertive, aggressive plan to annex into the city. We have to be proactive in understanding why we want to annex in, what are the benefits of that. And together, when we do that, then we'll see that all these holes in this puzzle piece begin to fill in. And that's when you have a town. That's when you eliminate me and you and become us. It's not yours, it's not mine, it's ours.
Thank you. Mr. Collins, the next question is yours, and this has been touched on by each of the candidates so far, but we'd like to know specifics on this. What is your position on the use of annexation to grow the town's tax base, and how would you do it?
Well, I think the first thing I would do is I would get with the 2 or 3 employees in the town who are involved in annexation now. They prepare the paperwork. They can show a property owner why it is advantageous to be a part of the town of Summerville versus being in Dorchester County. So I would take those people with me. We would set up meetings with business owners who are contiguous, Mr. Myler, for example, or people who live in the subdivisions, and I would make the case. I'd present the case, and I would invite them to join us in an effort to building our community that we all want to have and enjoy. So I think you go about it methodically. You're right, there are crazy annexation laws in the state. Somebody needs to work with the legislature. We need to try to get those changed. South Carolina has the worst annexation laws in the Southeast. If we could just ease up to the ones that North Carolina and Georgia have, we would be in better shape to accomplish some of these annexations. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Lomax?
When you annex, number one, I'd annex every business I could.